Hello and welcome to Let's Talk. This is Keisha here. As you come on in, hit subscribe and share this message out. Like, leave a comment. If you're watching from another platform, come on over to YouTube and subscribe and share this message out. I hope that you are having a fantastic day today, and I thank you in advance for taking out time on your day and stopping on this message today. And this message, of course, comes from our heart, as all messages do, because that's why my channel is titled Let's Talk, because it's about exposing unhealthy thoughts and replacing them with healthy ones. And we all have our fair share of unhealthy thoughts that we cannot even control that float into our mind. But what we can control is what we meditate on, and the fact that we can replace those unhealthy thoughts with healthy ones and then meditate on those, just to make our lives better and those that are around us. So I was thinking today about personality and character and how important they are, as well as how interconnected they are as well. And when you evaluate yourself, it allows you, especially if you're honest, it allows you to have more sensitivity in evaluating those around you. Similar to your own character traits or your own personality traits. If you have children, you know these things about yourself. So when you see your child kind of behaving in some of the ways that you did when you were younger or when you were their age, you immediately identify it, right? Because you know it to be self-evident, right? So in the same way, I think that as you study people and you study yourself and you're honest and authentic with yourself, then when you assess other people, that you have a more true, authentic measure of what it is that you are seeing or feeling or thinking about that person. So with that said, personalities are vast, right? But there are certain character traits that determine the quality of a person, and whether that person is someone to be trusted or someone to kind of have your hazard signals on for, or someone to flee from. So either you want to kind of embrace or reject based on certain character traits. And I believe that personalities can mislead on what character is. So when you are looking at a person based out of their personality, you could be misled as to who they are truly. And some people's personalities are very reserved. Some people's personalities are, obnoxious. Some people's personalities are bubbly, friendly, life of the party. Some people's personalities are sharp, and coarse, right? When they communicate, those are all different types of personalities. And if we only look at the personality of the person, we now are not getting a full picture of what we're actually dealing with. And I'm sharing this today because this is so important for our lives and for our boundaries and for our emotions and for our success even. Because if you are not aware of the true character and nature of a person, and you end up in a soul tie with them, or in a business relationship with them, or even a friendship with them, it could be dangerous. So a few things that I say for me, and I have a sensitivity to mannerisms, body language, inflection, what's going on in your eyes, as I said, the tone of your voice, your reaction. I have a sensitivity to that I've always had, and sometimes it rubs people the wrong way, because people say they want to know the truth, but lots of times they do not want to know the truth. Other times, people, they just don't want to hear the truth from someone else. They know it, but they just don't want to hear it. And for me, that's something that I have learned over the years, and still kind of learning as I interact with people, because I, for one, am very comfortable with calling out a thing, right? Call it what it is. Call it on the carpet. Address it. Whatever it is. Complimenting, right? Kind of encouraging and uplifting. Also, giving insight to something that I see that might not necessarily be positive. And I get different reactions with this, right? So, but for me, what I have learned though is when I am interacting with people and I see the outward initial, flavor of their personality, I immediately go past that initial. And in going past that initial, you're able to see further into the person by way of their responses to things that you say, by way of things that they express that are important to them or bother them, how often they are discussing a certain thing, how their tone changes when they're discussing a thing, their hesitation, the pauses in their voice, when they are discussing a certain thing. So I think that for me, it's like a double-edged sword, because there are people who they want to know what my insight or view is on certain matters in a value space. But then at the same time, they don't want it in situations that they are not trying to address or be fully authentic in a space. And it can be very frustrating at times, because I am who I am always, right? So this is an example I was sharing with someone the other day, because even with this sensitivity, right, I tend to know when a person is BSing me. However, I still give the benefit of the doubt. Why? Because I am hoping that when I point out a few things, potentially, that it will in turn cause them to correct. But sometimes that's not the case, right? Sometimes they continue in the same behavior. Why? Because they feel like, you are gullible, maybe, or a pushover, maybe. But what the hardest position is knowing something and still loving the person despite it, still accepting the person despite it. That's a hard place to be. And I'm going to give you an example. I know that I started this, but I was sharing with someone the other day, and they were saying to me, your relationships, you've had these different relationships with different men or whatever, and they have done things or whatever that hurt you. I don't understand, how is it that you maintained a relationship with them afterwards, or why it is that you gave, second, third chances to them. And I positioned it this way. I have had family that hurt me. I have had friends that have hurt me or betrayed me in some way. I have had, of course, relationships with men where they have hurt me as well too. What makes them any different in the forgiveness space or the, giving them another chance space, trying to understand what happened space? What makes them any different than when it's done for a family member or for close friends that you do it for? What's the difference? Because I find that the same people who have tried to take advantage of me point out about why it is that I shouldn't forgive someone else who also was trying to take advantage of me. Why is it that I should not forgive another person and have a relationship with them who tried to manipulate me when you have also tried to manipulate me as well? You have, and this is, I'm just saying, different people that have said these things to me. You have lied, you have betrayed, but yet you still have a relationship with me. But yet these other people who have done similar or the same, they should be cut off. What part of the game is that? I think that if you are a forgiving person, if you are a caring person, if that is who you are, part of your character, once again, if that is who you are that way with everyone. If you are a person who are fair, you are fair with those who deserve it, and you are fair with those who do not deserve it. You are fair. If you are kind to those who deserve it. You are kind to those who don't deserve it. So I say all that to say that character is so crucial, right? I have had people, and this is in the character space, I have had people who were ace boon coon with me. However, at some point along the relationship, they got to the place of feeling that I thought that I was all of that. It shifted the relationship to the point where they started to resent me. Now, that resentment space technically did not have anything to do with me, really, because if I am the same as I've always been, what is it that has changed? You have changed. Your perception has changed. But I have not changed. I'm the same. That's one. Two, I have had situations where a person has tried to be manipulative to get information while withholding information. And then, of course, what happens in the dark comes to light. Then a situation happens where it's exposed, and I'm an eyewitness to the exposure. However, I can tell by your facial expression, your body language, and your silence that you want to act as if it never happened. But clearly, we both know that it happened. I give you the same level of forgiveness, even though we might not never discuss it. I just now know something about you that I did not know before. And therefore, it's my responsibility to act accordingly. Now, not that I'm supposed to not forgive you and not still love you, but act accordingly in the space of your positioning in my life. There's compartments, right? So the compartment that you now hold is a different compartment that you once held. And as that relationship continues, either you have earned your way back into the compartment that you once had, or in observation of your behaviors, you end up in other compartments. Okay? You continue to lose ground or space. Although I will still love you. I will still show you kindness. I will still show you care and consideration. But your positioning has moved in my life based on character. And I'm sharing this because this is how important character is. I have been blindsided by someone's character, and it almost destroyed me. And I wasn't ready for it. That just shows you the power of being in connection or relationship with someone, and you know their personality, so you feel like you know them, but you don't fully know and understand the character of the person. And once it is displayed for you, either you're feeling gratitude for that character, you're feeling displeased or disappointed based on that character, or you could end up in a situation where you are feeling devastated because of that character. And I have seen people, based on the character of others that they have allowed into close space and proximity with them, be in a state of total depression, be in a state of nothing matters, losing everything, or almost losing everything, losing their drive, losing their dream, losing their livelihood, based off of their connection with someone of poor character. Did I say that character was so important? Character is so important. It trumps personality. Your personality, yes, is great. Your personality lets you know a lot of things about you. Like, I believe that when people talk about the horoscope, right? That is more based in personality, I think. Even though there's some things that they talk about with character traits, right? Like how they say different, signs can be, what's the word? Revengeful, right? That is a character trait. But also they say things like my sign, Leo. They say controlling, right? Kind of deep feeling, what is it? Your horoscope, I guess. A deep feeling sign. That's what it is. A deep feeling sign. All of those things. But those things are all personality, right? Those are things that's in your personality, really. And when we see people and interact with people, we are generally interacting with them initially based on their personality. And not until we see them in certain settings and circumstances, and that could take a long time for you to now know the character. When a person's back is up against the wall, you then may find out what their character is, right? When a person does not get their way, you can then now find out what their character is, right? Certain things that take place will allow you to see beyond the veil, beyond the personality, into the character of the person. I have heard someone make a comment to me before about what is it? Keep your friends close and keep your enemies closer. And I get the concept of that because you want to know where your enemies are, right? And in keeping them in close proximity, I guess you can keep yourself protected against them. So I do agree with it slightly. But at the same time, I feel like keep your friends closest and your enemies you acknowledge. You are aware of who they are. Not necessarily keep them closer, because I feel that if you have a close relationship with someone who is an enemy of you, all you need is one fall, and then that person will be the one digging your grave and dropping your body in it. All you need is one shakeup in your life and not be thinking straight, and you have that enemy closer. Now you're getting fed things that are with an intent of your demise. So certain comments we say, just very willy-nilly, and not really thinking through as to what they mean. But that's kind of how I take that. And I just believe that when I encounter a person, I'm seeing their personality initially. But as they are speaking and communicating, you now are able to go beyond the veil if you are listening from a level of sensitivity, meaning to the root of what it is that's being communicated, that you will hear so much more than what their personality is saying. So that has been something that has been innate for me for many years, and as I said, has been a double-edged sword. But I basically feel that anyone that has that ability, if you're able to manage that with a character that still allows you to love people, that still allows you to be caring and considerate and kind despite understanding human nature, then that will be a benefit for you. But if that is not the case, it can make you very resentful and bitter and revengeful, and basically steal the essence of who you are and who you were made to be. So I share this in love, of course, and as I had my thoughts about it, I'm just putting it out there because I know that as people encounter others in certain settings and scenarios, they are taken back by certain things. They're getting information from people around them, telling them how to think and feel and believe about life, right? And what they're seeing. They are experiencing things on levels that they don't even understand sometimes. So how do you get to a place of groundedness to understand what your experiences are and understand what your interactions are with others? One, by knowing yourself, your own personality and your character traits, your character defects, and then evaluating others, those around you, and assessing what their personality is and their character defects. Some things are tolerable and some things are non-negotiable for your own sanity and your own peace. So in taking this away, I encourage you to think about what your personality is and what your character is, and think about the closest 5 people in your life and try to evaluate them from the perspective of what is their personality and what is their character, and see if you can separate out the two. And once you do, see if you can identify what each person brings to the relationship that they currently have with you. And I believe that you will have an eye-opener if you are successful at being able to separate the two. And the reason why I say this is, and in fact, I suggest this. Think of the 5 people. Put each of them separately and already label them, what it is that they mean to you in your life, right? Label each of them with what it is that you're feeling about them. Meaning what they bring to your life, how they live in their life, all of that, right? And then I want you to separate out for each person, what do you feel their personality is and what do you feel that their character is. And I think that once you do that, you may, one, be surprised about the people that you have been putting in an putting in a negative light, that really have a character that is for you. And you will also probably be surprised to find the ones that you feel, oh, this person is And when you actually reflect and think about their character truly, it will probably almost scare you. It's an assignment that I give to you today to try out for yourself. It will amaze you. And I'm not saying to now disrupt your relationship with them. I'm just saying it for awareness, for boundary purposes, and also for personal development as well. So I hope you got something out of that. I just came to share from the heart. This is Let's Talk. Leave a comment if you do this assignment and you get an aha or a wow experience. Leave a comment below. Share it out to others that can also do this assignment and see what it is that you come up with. Because I think that awareness of self and awareness of those around you will be enlightening. So have a blessed day. Enjoy the rest of yours. And I will see you next time on Let's Talk. Matter of fact, before I go, make sure you visit mentalshiftmastery.com. Grab a copy of my book, Overcoming the Hand You Were Dealt. You can get it in paperback or you can get it downloadable right there on the site. But grab a copy of that book and it will give you a little bit more insight on why it is that I think the way I think, based out of the experiences that I've had over the course of my life. You may relate to them based on your own experiences. You may get an aha from the book as well too. But nonetheless, go on over to mentalshiftmastery.com, grab a copy for yourself and read it and see what it does for you. Take care. Until next time, be blessed.